my name is Kaylee and we're going to be cooking up some cozy fall recipes. It's that time of year again where we all just want to like get into comfy clothes, go for beautiful fall walks, pick pumpkins, and eat really comforting, wholesome food. So I'm going to share a few recipes that I've tried out lately. We're also going to cook one today together that are perfect for this fall season, and there will be a second part to this video too, sharing a few more recipes. So make sure you subscribe if you're not yet so you don't miss out. We are losing daylight, so I'm gonna try and like not talk too much, but I'm definitely feeling fall-y today. I just went for a nice fall walk with a pumpkin spice coffee. I've got my Hocus Pocus sweatshirt on, which is like the best Halloween movie ever. And yeah, today we're gonna be doing some stuffed acorn squashes, turkey stuffed acorn squashes. And I found this recipe on Pinterest. And if you know me and how I like to cook, I don't really follow recipes very often. Sorry, don't mind Walter. Walter, I'm filming a video. Yeah. Just wait. I don't really like to follow recipes. Like, I'll find a recipe and gain inspiration from it, but generally I kind of like switch things up. So I will link the recipe that I found on Pinterest in the description box if you want to refer back to that. But what I'm doing is pretty much the same thing. I'm just making a few little changes to it. So the recipe I found is for stuffed pumpkins, which also sounds really good, but I happen to have this acorn squash that I got at the farmer's market last weekend, so I'm gonna use this instead. So anyways, let's just start cooking. First up, we're making the turkey stuffed squash. So I'm just preheating the oven to 400 degrees and I'm going over some of the ingredients. As I mentioned, I got this recipe on Pinterest, but I did make a few changes. Starting with the cheese, I'm using a goat's Gouda with honey. I thought that sounded amazing. I believe in the recipe she uses a Gruyere, which would also be really good. If you haven't seen my cooking videos before, I do mostly only have like goat's milk or sheep's milk. I do have a lactose intolerance, so I try to stay away from normal cheese as much as possible. Also, she called for, I think, stale French bread in her recipe. I just got these stuffing like breadcrumbs at the store that you would use to make for stuffing, and it's pretty much the same thing. And here comes Walter. He's always got to check everything out and hang out with me while I'm cooking in the kitchen. He is so sweet and so cute. A little bit annoying sometimes, but most of the time sweet. So yeah, that's pretty much all the ingredients that we're going to be using in today's recipe. One more thing is I add half a teaspoon of dried thyme to my brown butter mixture. She doesn't do it in her recipe, but I thought the flavor would pair really beautifully with the turkey and the sage and everything. So if you like thyme, I highly recommend adding a little bit of that to your brown butter. I also apologize. I definitely thought that was an acorn squash. Realized after, I'm like, I don't know if this is, and it turns out it's actually a buttercup squash. So if you want to make yours with acorn squashes, by all means, but the buttercup squash did go really nicely with it. It has a similar texture to like a yam or a potato, so I thought it went really well with the turkey and the stuffing. But you could also do the pumpkins like the lady does in the recipe from Pinterest too. excited to use these carrots. I got them recently at the farmer's market, and they came with purple carrots, yellow carrots, orange ones, and they were really sweet and just, the best carrots ever. So I was really excited to use them. Highly recommend these tri-colored carrots. I think I'm going to try plant them in my garden next year. I had to try out this cheese. It's a goat's Gouda with honey, and my grocery store normally doesn't have it. It was with kind of the other specialty cheeses where I usually get my Pecorino Romano and like Havarti and all my different goat's cheeses. But anyways, this was really nice. It had a mild kind of sweet honey aftertaste, and it paired really nicely with my wine. immediately regretted it when I cut this squash in half. It definitely doesn't look as pleasing to the eye or aesthetic as the little stuffed pumpkins do in the recipe, but whatever, it's all good. It still looks pretty in its own way. And for the cheese, I chose to just top mine with cheese. In the recipe, she actually puts hers in the turkey and stuffing mixture, so if you want to do that and make it a little more cheesy, then feel free to. I didn't feel like it needed it. Just topping it with the cheese I thought was really nice. I also ended up having a little bit of the turkey stuffing mixture left over, so I just put it in a baking pan and I think put it in for about 15 minutes, and I was just eating it by itself. It was good with the squash, but it was also really good on its own too. So excited, it smells amazing in here. So now let's give it a little taste test. This is like, look how big this is. Half of this is like 1 serving, so this is probably more like 2 servings. So I definitely won't be able to eat the whole thing. Anyways, got my little bite here with some squash. That's amazing. Maybe a little sip of wine after that. I am gonna take my dinner and my wine and go get cozy on the couch with some Gilmore Girls, I think. If you know, you know. You just have to watch Gilmore Girls at this time of year. Next up is the white chicken chili, and oh my goodness, out of all of these recipes, I think I would recommend this one the most. And to be honest, I just made it up. Like, I just looked in my fridge, looked in my pantry, and thought, what can I put in this? I didn't follow exact measurements or a recipe or anything, so I want to encourage you to just have fun with it. Like, cooking's meant to be a creative outlet. Have fun, put in it what you like. So I put like mushrooms, obviously, you know, celery, onions, that kind of thing. I had an extra cob of corn in the fridge, so rather than a can of corn, I just cut off the corn from the cob and put it in. Even like the beans, I didn't have traditional white beans that you would probably choose for this recipe, but I had some lentils and like chickpeas, so I was like, hey, why not? Pretty much the same thing. So I put those in instead, and yeah, just really had fun with it. I also didn't put tomatoes. I think some recipes might call for tomatoes in a white chicken chili, but I didn't think it needed it. You're putting the same spices, the chili, the cumin, all of that. That makes it taste like chili. So I didn't think it needed tomatoes. Plus it left it being a really nice light color. was saying earlier, I really did just use up what was in my fridge and in my pantry, so I had this one potato and I was like, hey, why not add it in? You don't usually put potatoes in chili, but it was kind of nice actually. Added a little bit of texture and like helped it thicken and stuff, so yeah, that's why I added potato in it. Not sure what other recipes use to make the chili more like light and creamy, but I thought a mixture of plain Greek yogurt and cream cheese would be the best. Cream cheese is obviously rich and like cheesy, but I only put half a block and I thought a whole block would be a little bit too much. And then adding that 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt also helped make it creamy, but it's a little more light. It's not as rich, so I felt like yeah, it just balanced it out really nicely. Also, with the chickpeas, the beans, the lentils, the chicken, the Greek yogurt, this dish is packed with protein, which is super important and something I've been trying to be a lot better about having, and it also makes it really filling too. Lastly are the protein pumpkin oat muffins, and these turned out really good too. They are packed with protein, which is always a good thing. They're really moist and not too sweet. They honestly went really perfect with coffee in the morning, so I was eating them for breakfast almost every day. For the protein powder, you can totally use just like normal vanilla protein powder. My boyfriend happened to find a pumpkin spice latte flavor, so I was like, oh, gotta put that in. But you can obviously just double up on the spices instead. These are healthy, they're gluten-free, and yeah, really good for breakfast, so highly recommend making them. Walter is my little model showing off the ingredients, and he was hanging out with me the whole time I was making these. you definitely don't need to spray your muffin liners. I'm always a little bit paranoid about things sticking or the wrapper being really difficult to peel off, but you do not need to do it. These muffins are nice and moist, and I think there's enough oil in them that, yeah, they will not stick. So you can definitely skip that step. Do not need to spray your muffin liners. Anyways, these turned out amazing, as did everything else in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you try any of the recipes, feel free to leave a comment and let me know how they turned out, or share your favorite fall recipes with me. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there will be a part 2 sharing a few more fall recipes. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you're having a magical and wonderful fall season filled with laughter, family, friends, and lots of good food, of course.